So we have here the properties of determinant. So yung property 1, to evaluate a determinant of nth order, we have to take the summation of the product of the elements in any row or column and its cofactor. So we have here a matrix A, an example, a 3 by 3 in dimension. So just to keep things simple, we're gonna start with the uh, first row. We're gonna start with this first row. So yung first row will be our coefficient. So our solution should be, to evaluate the determinant of A, we have determinant of A that is equal to 2. So 2 is our first element. Yung unang coefficient natin is yung element natin sa first row, and it is located in first row and first column. So we're gonna eliminate first row and first column. And what's left over is this element. So yan. So we're gonna write that is 0, 3, negative 1, and 4. Now let's move on to the next one. So it's gonna be minus. So in here, the sign must be alternate. So if we have positive, the next is negative, and then positive. So our sign here should be alternate. So our next coefficient is, sabi natin dito, let's take row 1 as our coefficient. So yung next coefficient natin is, tapos na yung 2, so yung next natin is yung 1. So let's write 1. And 1 is located at row 1, column 2. So we're gonna eliminate that row 1 and column 2. And what's left over is these values. So we're gonna write 4, 2, negative 1, and 4. And next is we have plus. Our third coefficient is this value. So yung third coefficient natin is this value. So lahat ng coefficient natin is in row 1. So yung next coefficient natin is negative 3. So we're gonna write plus negative 3. So negative 3 is located at row 1, column 3. So we're gonna eliminate row 1 and column 3. So what's left over is this value. So we're gonna write 4, 2, 0, and 3. After which, we have now to evaluate this determinant of A. The determinant of A is equal to, this is a 2 by 2 matrix. So to evaluate this 2 by 2 matrix, that is the product of the diagonal downward. So yung product ng diagonal downward natin minus the product of diagonal upward. So we have here determinant A is 2 times 0 times 4, that is 0, minus 3 times negative 1, that is minus negative 3. So next, minus 1, you have to evaluate this 2 by 2 matrix, that is the product of diagonal downward minus the product of diagonal upward. So we will be getting 4 times 4, that is 16, minus 2 times negative 1, that is negative 2. And lastly, we have minus 3. So plus and negative minus 3 times the value if we evaluate this 2 by 2 matrix. So we have 4 times 3, that is 12, minus 2 times 0, that is 0. So solving, our determinant A is equal to 2 times 3 minus 1 times 16 minus negative 2, that is 18, minus 3 times 12. So yung value natin for our determinant A is equal to 2 times 3 minus 1 times 18 minus 3 times 12, that is equal to negative 48. So kindly check if my computation is correct. So yung determinant A natin is equal to negative 48. So if we use, let's say, we will use, let's say we use elements. So let's say we use the elements of column 2 as our coefficient. So let's use the element of column 2 as coefficient. We should derive the same answer as negative 48. So dapat parehas yung sagot natin na determinant of A is equal to negative 48. Kahit yung gamitin natin is na coefficient is yung column 2 or column 3 or row 3, dapat pare-parehas yung determinant natin, which is negative 48. So let's say we use the elements of column 2 as the coefficient. So we have 1, 0, 3 as our coefficient. So yung sign natin dito, that is plus, minus, plus. So alternate din dapat sa ating row. So if this is plus, yung second row natin minus, and yung third row natin plus. So if this is plus, this is minus, and plus, minus, plus. So yung sign natin should be alternate. So let's say elements of column 2 as coefficients. So we have determinant of A is equal to, yung unang coefficient natin is 1. So kukunin natin yung sign, that is negative 1, times, if we eliminate column 2 and row 1, what's left over is 4. So yung matitira dyan is yung 4, 2, negative 1, and 4. Yung sign is for the coefficient only, hindi yung mga nasa yung matitirang elements. So next, we have column 2. So 1, yung next na element sa column natin is V0. So yung nauna 1, 0 yung susunod na coefficient natin. So if this is negative, this is plus 0. So we have plus 0. So if we eliminate column 2 and row 2, what's left over is 2, 2, negative 3, and 4. And lastly, our third coefficient, yung 1, 0, yung 3. So that is minus, plus, minus. So minus 3. So minus 3 times, if we eliminate column 2 and row 3, what's left over is 2, 4, negative 3, negative 1. So let's solve now our element to evaluate. That is determinant of A is equal to negative 1. So to evaluate a 2 by 2 matrix, the product of the downward diagonal minus the product of upward diagonal. So we have 1, negative 1 times 4 times 4, that is 16. That is 2 times negative 2, that is minus negative 2. Plus 0, we have 2 times 4, that is 8, minus 2 times negative 3, that is negative 6. And then we have minus 3, 2 times negative 1, that is negative 2, plus, that is minus. So we have minus, we have 4 times negative 3, that is negative 12. So if you notice, that is 0, so 0 yung value natin dito. So our determinant of A is equal to, we have negative 1 times 16 minus negative 2, that is 18, minus 3, that is negative 2 minus negative 12 is negative, positive 10. So solving for the determinant of A, that is equal to negative 18 minus negative 30, that is negative 48. So determinant of A, if we use element of column as coefficient and determinant of A using row 1 as our coefficient, have the same answer, that is negative 48. So that's it. So we have also here another example for property 1. Start with, uh, let's say, we're gonna use row 1 as our coefficient to make things simple. So we're gonna use this row 1 as our coefficient. So to start solving, we have the coefficient of row 1, which is negative 4. Ito, yan yung magiging unang coefficient natin. Yung pangalawang coefficient natin, 2, 1, and 5. So that is plus, minus, plus, minus. So we have determinant of A is equal to negative 4 times, so if we, this is negative 4, if we remove row 1, column 1, what's left over is these elements. So we have 4, 3, negative 3, 1, 2, 5, negative 1, 3, and 1. So next we have minus 2. So minus 2. So we have here 2. So if we eliminate this first row, second column, what's left over, yun yung magiging matrix natin dito. So if this is our second coefficient, we eliminate the first row, second column, our leftover is 3, negative 2, 1, 1, 2, 5, negative 1, 3, and 1. Next coefficient, we have 1. So that is plus, minus, plus, minus. So we need to add 1. So if we eliminate the row 1, column 3, what's left over is 3, negative 2, 1, 4, 3, negative 3, negative 1, 3, and 1. And lastly, yung last coefficient natin, that is minus. So we have minus 5, If we eliminate this through one column 4, what's left over is 3, negative 2, 1, 4, 3, negative 3, 1, 2, and 5. So, yan. So, meron tayong 3 by 3 matrix na. So, to solve for the determinant of a 4 by 4, yung ginawa natin, kinuha natin yung first row as our coefficient. Pwede niyong kunin din yung column, first column, second column, or whatever you like. So, yung first row yung kinuha natin. So, reduce natin into 3 by 3 na yung matrix natin. So, kukunin natin, evaluate natin isa-isa yung ating 3 by 3 matrix. So, let's start with this 3 by 3 matrix. So, we have 4, 3, negative 3, 1, 2, 5, negative 1, 3, and 1. So we're gonna use row 1 as our coefficient. So that is equal to 4. What's left over if we remove row 1, column 1 is 2, 5, 3, 1. So we have minus 1 times what's left over if we remove row 1, column 2 is 3, negative 3, 3, and 1. So next we have plus negative 1 times this left over if we remove row 1, the third column. So we have 3, negative 3, 2, and 5. Solving for this, we have to evaluate this 2 by 2. So we have 4 times, that is 2 times 1 minus 5 times 3. So 2 minus 15, that is equal to negative 13. We have minus 1 times 3 times 1, that is 4, minus negative 3 times 3, that is negative 9. So 3 minus negative 9 is equal to 12. Then plus negative 1, so that is minus 1 times, that is 15. If we multiply this downward diagonal, that is 15, minus negative 3 times 2, that is negative 6. So 15 minus negative 6, that is positive 21. So solving this, our value for this first matrix, we evaluate this first 3 by 3 matrix, that is equal to 4 times negative 13 minus 12 minus 21. So that is equal to 4 times negative 13 minus 1 times 12 minus 1 times 21. That is equal to negative 85. So that is our value for the first 3 by 3 matrix. Next, we have to evaluate this second 3 by 3 matrix. So we have 3, negative 2, and 1. We have 1, 2, 5. We have negative 1, 3, 1. So let's take first row as our coefficient. So we have 3, first coefficient 3, that is 2, 5, 3, 1, 2, 5, 3, 1. This is positive, minus 1, that is equal to, we remove this row 1, column 1, we have negative 2, 1, 3, 1. So we have negative 2, 1, 3, 1, and plus negative 1 times the leftover, we have negative 2, 1, 2, 5. So solving this, we have 3 times 2 minus 15, that is negative 13, minus 1. So we have negative 2 minus 3, that is negative 5. So we have minus 1. So we have negative 10 minus 2, that is 12. Positive 12. Negative 12 minus 2, that is positive 12. So we have negative 12, not positive, negative 12. So solving these values, so 3 times negative 13 minus 1 times negative 5 minus 1 times negative 12, that is equal to negative 22. So kindly check if my calculation is correct. Then we're gonna move on to this third 3 by 3 matrix. So ito, ang value natin dito is negative 85. So yung second 3 by 3 matrix natin, that is negative 22. And then yung third 3 by 3 matrix natin, that is 3, negative 2, 1, 4, 3, negative 3, that is negative 1, 3, and 1. So we're gonna take first row as our coefficient. So that is 3 times 3, negative 3, 3, 1, minus 4, that is negative 2, 1, 3, 1, plus negative 1, that is negative 2, 1, 3, negative 3. So yung mga leftover, if we take the coefficient, that is equal to 3 times, we have negative 2 minus this one, 3 times 1, that is 3, minus negative 9, so that is 12. So positive 12, minus 4, yung negative 2 minus 3, that is negative 5. And then lastly, minus 1, that is negative 2 times negative 3, this diagonal is positive 6, minus the product of this upper diagonal, that is 3. So we have here negative 2 times negative 3, that is positive 6, minus 3, that is 3. So if we solve this, we're gonna get a value of 53. So the value of our third 3 by 3 is 53. And lastly, we have 3, negative 2, 1, 4, 3, negative 3, 1, 2, 5. We're gonna use first row as our coefficient. So that is 3 times, that is 3, negative 3, 2, 5, minus 4, that is negative 2, 1, that is 2, 5. And lastly, we have plus minus plus 1. We have leftover, which is 2, 1, 3, negative 3. So that is equal to, so we have, that is equal to 3. So we have 15 minus negative 6, that is 21, minus 4 times, that is negative 10, minus 2, that is negative 12, plus 1 times, that is positive 6, minus 3, that is 3. So our value here is equal to, we have 21 times 3 minus 4 times negative 12 plus 1 times 3. So our value here is equal to 114. So that's our value if we evaluate our 3 by 3 matrix. So we have to substitute now our values here. So we have determinant of A. So we have determinant of A is equal to our value here, that is 4. That is yung value natin dito, negative 4 times the value here, which is 85. So we have negative 4 times negative 85. Next, minus 2 times negative 22. Next, plus 1 times 53 minus 5 times 114. So our determinant of A is equal to negative 133. So kindly check if my calculation is correct. So ito yung value ng determinant of A natin. So we have here yung negative 4, yung coefficient natin, yung pinakaunang coefficient natin, times the matrix, the 3 by 3 matrix. So nakuha natin yung values nito, which is negative 85. So minus 2, yung coefficient na 2, times yung value ng 3 by 3 matrix na ito, which is negative 22, plus 1, that is plus 1, times yung value ng 3 by 3 matrix na ito, which is 53, minus 5, times the value of this 3 by 3 matrix, which is 114. So we will get determinant of A is equal to negative 133. Next, we have here the property 2. So sabi sa property 2, for every square matrix A, the determinant of A is equal to the determinant of transpose of matrix A. So we have to show that this is true, na ang determinant of A is equal sa determinant ng transpose A. So we have here an example, given matrix A. So ipapakita natin kung tama ba na determinant of A is equal to the determinant of transpose of matrix A. So first thing to do is, with this given example, we have to get the transpose of matrix A. So yung transpose ng matrix A, yung row magiging column sa transpose. So yung transpose of matrix A, that is equal to yung row na ito magiging column dito. So that is 1, 2, negative 4. We have 5, negative 3, 2, and we have 2, 4, and 5. So yan yung unang gagawin natin. Yung kukunin natin yung transpose ng ating determinant. So ipapakita natin if this property is true, na ang determinant ng A equal siya sa determinant ng transpose ng mismong matrix. So unahin natin yung determinant ng A. So let's start. So we need to solve for the determinant of A. So let's take row 1 as our coefficient. So if we take 1, we have to eliminate row 1, column 1. What's left over? yung negative 3, 4, 2, 5. So we have 1 times negative 3, 4, 2, 5. Next is minus 2. So pag uh, ineliminate natin yung row 1, column 2, what's left over is 5, 2, and 2, 5. So we have 5, 2, 2, 5. And last, plus negative 4 times, if we eliminate this row 1, column 3, what's left over is this value. We have 5, 2, negative 3, and 4. We have 5, 2, negative 3, and 4. So solving for the determinant of A, so evaluate natin yung 2 by 2 matrix natin. So that is 1 times, that is negative 15 minus this is 8 minus 2. The product of this downward diagonal is 25 minus the product of the upward diagonal, that is 4, minus 4 times the product of this downward diagonal is 20 minus the product of the upward diagonal, that is negative 6. So our determinant of A is equal to 1 times negative 23 minus 2, that is 21, minus 4, that is 26. So ang determinant of A natin is equal to negative 169. So dapat ang determinant of A natin equal siya sa determinant ng transpose ng matrix A. So let's solve the determinant of transpose A. So determinant of transpose of A is equal to, let's consider yung first row as our coefficient. So yung 1, yung unang coefficient natin, yung second 5, and yung third 2. So we have 1 times, if we eliminate the first row, first column, we have this as our elements. So we have negative 3, 2, 4, 5. Next, we have, that is plus, so minus 5. So if we eliminate row 1, column 2, we have 2, negative 4, 4, and 5. And lastly, plus 2 times, we eliminate this row 1, column 3, we have this as leftover. So we have 2, negative 4, negative 3, and 2. So solving for the value of our determinant. So determinant of transpose A is equal to, so ano yung value natin dito? That is equal to 1 times, so we have negative 15 minus the product of this upward diagonal is 8 minus 5. The product of this downward diagonal is 10 minus the product of this upward diagonal is negative 16 plus 2. The product of this downward diagonal is 4 and the product of this upward diagonal is 12, so minus 12. So yung determinant of transpose A natin is equal to 1 times, that is negative 23, minus 5 times, that is 26, plus 2 times 4 minus 12, that is negative 8. So if we solve this, ang makukuha nating determinant of transpose of A is equal to 169. So equal sila. So sa property 2, naipakita natin na ang determinant of A is 169, that is equal to the determinant of transpose of the matrix. So, yan yung ating property 2. So, for every square matrix, so this is only true if our matrix is a square. So, parehas yung number of column and number of rows natin. Yung determinant ng ating given matrix is equal to the determinant of its transpose. We have here property 3. So if A is a triangular matrix of order n, then the determinant A is equal to the product of its diagonal elements. So we have here an example. Example 1, we have a triangular matrix, an upper triangular matrix. And for number 2, we have here a lower triangular matrix. So sabi dito sa property 3, the determinant of A is equal to the product of its diagonal elements if we have a triangular matrix. So in example 1, we have a triangular matrix. If we notice, we have here 0. So yung magiging determinant natin dyan is just the product of its diagonal element. So you just have to multiply the product of this diagonal, yun na yung magiging determinant natin sa given matrix. So determinant of A is equal to 5 times negative 2 times 6. That is equal to determinant of A is equal to negative 60. So, yan na yung magiging determinant natin. If our given matrix is a triangular matrix, upper or lower. So, we have here an example number 2. We have 0 yung elements natin sa taas ng ating diagonal elements. So, yung magiging determinant natin dito is just the product of its diagonal elements. So, determinant of B, so this is matrix B, that is equal to the product of this diagonal element. So, yung product niya, yan yung magiging determinant B natin. So, determinant of B is equal to negative 1 times 3 times 2 times negative 4. So, determinant of B is equal to, we have negative 1 times 3 times 2 times negative 4, that is 24. So, if you use property 1, the answer should be the same if you use property 1. So, next, the property 4. So, if a square matrix A has a 0 row or 0 column, then the determinant of A is equal to 0. So, pag ang meron daw tayong row or column na 0 ang element niya, yung determinant ng matrix natin is equal to 0. So, in our given example, yung column 2 natin is 0. So, lahat ng elements sa column 2 is 0. So, yung magiging determinant daw natin dito sa A is equal to 0. Kasi meron tayong 1 column na 0 ang element. So, yung determinant natin is 0. So, if we have B, matrix B, so for example, 0, 0, 0, and we have so yung magiging determinant natin dito sa B is equal to 0 since we have a row na ang elements niya is 0. So, to check. So let's check if this is correct. So yung property 1, kunin natin yung property 1, we use column 2 as our coefficient para ma-check natin if really yung determinant A natin is equal to 0. So let's use the property 1. So let's use column 2 as our coefficient. So we use this column 2 as our coefficient. So pag ginamit natin itong coefficient times yung mga leftover that is 0, 0 yun yung lalabas. So let's say we have determinant of A is equal to yung coefficient natin, una, 0, times kahit i-multiply mo pa yan sa ating leftover, which is 4, negative 1, negative 1, and 2. Tapos, magma-minus ka o magpla-plus ka ng 0, yung leftover natin, negative 1, 3, and 2. And then we have this is minus, this is plus, this is minus 0. And then we have negative 2, 4, 3, negative 1 as leftover. Ang kalalabasan niya is 0. So, a number multiplied by 0 is 0. So, 0 ito. 0 din ito, 0 ito. So, yung determinant natin is 0. So, for every square matrix that has a 0 row or 0 column, yung determinant niya is 0. So, that is for property 4. So, for property 5, sabi ng property 5, if each element in one row or column of a determinant is multiplied by C, then the value of the determinant is multiplied by C. So, yung C natin is our scalar. So, let's assume that as our scalar. So, sabi dito, elements in one row or column if the is multiplied by C. So, yung given natin is matrix A. So, kukunin natin yung matrix, yung next matrix, let's say yung matrix B. And then, yung matrix B daw natin is nakuha sa matrix A na yung each element in one row or column. So, kahit isang row or column, elements ng row or column sa B na minultiply mo sa isang value, let's say C, yun yung scalar natin. Yung value ng determinant natin is equal pag minultiply mo sa scalar na let's say that is denoted by C. So, we have here given example, assuming you choose column 2. So, we choose column 2 na i-multiply natin sa C. So, yung value ng C natin, let's assume that is equal to 2. So, you will get this matrix. So, parehas yung column 1 natin, parehas yung column 3 natin dito sa matrix A and B. However, yung column 2 natin, yung elements sa column 2 sa matrix B, minultiply natin ng 2 yung elements ng column 2 ng matrix A. So, yung property 5 states that the determinant of B is equal to C times multiplied by the determinant of A. So, or in our example, we have the determinant of B. So, yung determinant B natin is equal to 2 times determinant of A. So, 2, kasi yan yung ginamit nating C. Pag yung isang column nag-times ng 5, so yung C natin is 5, hindi 2. So, determinant, in our example, determinant of B is equal to 2 times determinant of A. Since yung 2, yan yung value ng C na minultiply natin dito sa column 2 ng determinant A para makuha natin yung element ng column 2 ng determinant B. So, ipakita natin that this is correct or true, that the determinant of B is equal to 2 times the determinant of A. So, let's solve first for the determinant of A. So, for the determinant of A, let's say we use this first row as our coefficient. So, meron tayong 3 times. We remove row 1, column 1, we have negative 3, 2, 5, negative 2. So, minus negative 1 times, if we remove row 1, column 2, meron tayong, we remove this, meron tayong leftover na 4, 6, 5, negative 2. So, that is 4, 6, 5, negative 2. And lastly, plus 2, we have leftover 4, 6, and negative 3, 2. So, yung value natin dito is, we have 3 times positive 6 minus 10. So, 6 minus 10 plus 1 times, that is negative 8. So, yung product ng upward, that is minus 30. Plus, we have 2 times so we have 2 times the value 4 times 2, that is 8, minus negative 18. So yung value natin dito is equal to determinant. So the determinant of A is equal to, we need to solve this, that is equal to 2. So the determinant of A is 2. So kindly solve if my calculation is correct. So let's move on. Let's solve for the determinant of B. So dapat yung determinant of B natin is 4. Since yung determinant of A natin is 2, multiplied by the value of C, which is 2, dapat yung determinant of B natin is 4. So let's see if our determinant of B is 4. So ito yung matrix B natin. So let's get row 1 as our coefficient. So we have 3. So if we remove row 1, column 1, what's left over is negative 6, 4, 5, negative 2. Next, minus negative 2. So we have 4, 6, 5, negative 2. And lastly, we have 2, 4, 6, negative 6, and 4. So solving for the value of this, we have 3 times, that is 12 minus 20. So plus 2, that is negative 8 minus 30. And plus 2, that is yung diagonal natin, that is 16 and 36. So 16 minus negative 36. So solving for the value of determinant B, ang value natin dito is 3 times negative 8 plus 2 times negative 38 plus we have 2 times 16 minus negative 36, that is 52. So we have 2 times 52. So solving for the determinant of B, that is equal to 4. So that is equal to 4. So tama na ang determinant of B natin is equal to the multiplied coefficient. In our example, yung multiplied coefficient natin na C is 2. So we have 2 times the determinant of A. So determinant of B natin, we have 4. And 2 times yung determinant of A natin is ito, yung 2. So that is 4 is equal to 4. So, tama. Tama. So, yung property 5 natin sa ating, yan yung property 5 natin sa ating uh, finding the determinant of a matrix. So, if each element in one row or column of a determinant is multiplied by C or any value, ito yung scalar natin, any value scalar, then the value of the determinant is multiplied by C. So that is for the property 5. So moving on for the property 6. So number 6, if B is a matrix obtained by interchanging any two rows or columns of matrix A, then the determinant of B is equal to the determinant of A. So we have here an example. So given matrix A and another matrix B. So matrix B is derived by interchanging the column 2 and column 3 of matrix A. So yung column 2 and column 3 ng matrix A, pinag-interchange niya lang, yan yung matrix B. So parehas yung column 1. Yung column 2 and 3, interchange sa column 2 and 3 ng matrix A. So, yung matrix B nakuha dito sa matrix A. However, yung column lang yung nag-interchange lang sila pero parehas pa rin yung values. Yung column lang yung nag-interchange. Then, yung determinant natin dito sa matrix B is equal siya sa determinant natin dito sa matrix A. So, let's check if this is true. So, let's start first with the determinant of A. So, we need to find the determinant of A. So, let's check if the property is correct. So, determinant of A. Say, we use again the first row as our coefficient. We have, so our determinant of A, say we have 5 times, we have 4, 3, 2, 2, minus 2, we have 6, 1, so we have 6, 1, 2, 2, then plus 3, we have 6, 1, 4, 3. So, determinant of A natin, that is 5 times the product of the downward diagonal minus the product of the upward diagonal ng ating 2 by 2 matrix. So, we have 8 minus 6 minus 2 times the 6 times 2, that is 12 minus 2 plus 3. So we have minus 2 times 12 minus 2 plus 3 times 18 minus 4. So our determinant of A is equal to 5 times 2 minus 2 times 10 plus 3 times 14. So our value here is equal to 32. So our determinant of A is equal to 32. So let's solve for the determinant of B. So the determinant of B is equal to, let's get the row 1 as our coefficient. So that is 5. So we have, let's say we have times multiplied, shortcut na natin. So we have 5 multiplied by 2 times 3, that is 6, minus 2 times 8, that is 2 times 4 is 8, that is minus 3. So if we eliminate this, we have 6 times 3, that is 18, minus 1 times 4, that is 4. So we have plus 2. So if we eliminate this, we get 6 times 2, that is 12, minus 1 times 2, that is 2. So our value here, determinant of B, is equal to 5 times negative 2 minus 3 times 14 plus 2 times 10. So yung determinant of B natin, that is equal to negative 32. So tama. So tama yung sinabi nung ating property that the determinant of B is equal to the negative determinant of A. So yung determinant of B natin is, so ang determinant of B dapat natin is equal to determinant of A. Ang determinant of B natin is negative 32. That is equal to negative, the determinant of A is 32. So that is correct. So negative 32 is equal to negative 32. So yung property natin is correct. So moving on, we have number 7, yung property 7 natin. So if any two rows or columns of a determinant are equal or proportional, then its evaluation is 0. So if we have any two rows or columns daw ng determinants are equal or proportional, then its evaluation is 0. So we have here an example. In the given matrix A, so yung given matrix A natin, we notice that yung row 2 and row 3 are proportional. Pag tinitignan natin ito, yung row 2 and row 3 is proportional. That is, the elements of row 2 and row 3 have the same ratio. That is, the element of row 3 is twice as large as in the element of row 2. So, yung element ng row 2, tinines mo lang ng 3, naging element ng row 3. So, pag 1 times 3, 3, 5 times 3, 15, 3 times 3, 9. So, yung row 2 and 3 natin is proportional. So, kahit hindi row yan, kahit column yung proportional, pwede itong property 7. The determinant or the evaluation of our matrix is 0. So let's take uh, solve if our determinant really here in our example is 0. Kasi yung proportional yung row 2 natin at row 3. Tignan natin pag yung determinant natin is 0. So let's check. Say we get the first row as our coefficient. So determinant of A is equal to, let's get the first row as our coefficient. So let's say we have determinant of A is 7. So ito yung unang coefficient natin, yung 7 times. So if we remove row 1, column 1, ito yung magiging elements natin. So we have 5 times 9, that is 45. So we have 45 minus 15 times 3, that is 45. And then next, so yung second coefficient natin, we get this negative 2. So this is plus minus plus. So minus negative 2 times, if we eliminate row 1, column 2, we have 1 times 9, that is 9, minus 3 times 3, that is 9. And lastly, we have plus 4, yung third coefficient natin 4. We eliminate column 1 and row 1 and column 3. Ito yung magiging element natin. So 1 times 15 minus 3 times 5 is equal to 0 din. So 1 times 15, that is 15, minus 3 times 5, that is 15. So yung determinant of A natin is 7 times 0, that is 0, minus negative 2 times 0, that is also 0, plus 4 times 15 minus 15, that is 0. So yung determinant of A natin is equal to 0. So if any two rows or columns of a determinants are equal or proportional, then its evaluation is 0. That is for property 7. Next property natin, to evaluate the determinant of A, we make all numbers in column 1. So all numbers in column 1 equals to 0 except the uppermost number. So ito yung uppermost number natin, except this uppermost number. So lahat ng element dito is equal to 0. And then the uppermost number should be equal to 1 or negative 1. So para makuha natin yung determinant of A. So first, determinant of A is equal to. So yung unang gagawin natin is to make all the numbers in column 1 equal to 0 except the uppermost, that should be 1. So since yung value natin dito sa uppermost is 1, so okay na tayo dito. So pag hindi ito 1, kailangan nyo munang gawing 1 yung uppermost na element natin. Or pag meron kayong row na merong 1 dito sa first column niya, i-interchange nyo muna yung ating rows. So, kailangan muna nating maging yung uppermost natin is 1, tsaka natin gawing 0 yung tatlong ito, yung column 1 doon sa row 2, 3, and 4. So, para maging 0 yan, so isi-0 natin yung una. That is So, gawin daw nating 0 itong tatlo. So, para maging 0 yan, ito, yung row 2, yung row 3, at yung row 4, gawin nating 0. So, para maging 0 yan, so unahin natin yung row 2. So, yung row 1, i-times mo ng value, yung opposite value nito, yung negative, that if this is 2, that is, i-multiply mo yung row 1 ng negative 2. Kasi yung row 1 natin is 1. So, row 1 times negative 2 plus row 2. So, magiging 0 yung 2 natin. Para maging 0 naman yung 3 natin, yung row 1 natin, i-multiply natin siya sa negative 3 plus row 3. So, magiging 0 yung 3 natin. And yung row 4, so row 1, yung row 1 natin, i-multiply natin ng negative 4 plus row 4 para maging 0 yung 4 natin. Pero kailangan nating i-adapt itong equation sa buong row. So, pag row 2, yung buong row 2, yung buong row 3, at yung buong row 4. So, ganyan. So, if we solve that, makukuha natin yung determinant of A that is equal to, so, parehas yung nasa taas na row, that is 1, 2, 3, 4. So, row 1 times negative 2 plus row 2. So, yung row 1 times negative 2 plus row 2. Consider natin itong row 2. So, yung row 1, 1 times negative 2 plus row 2. So, yung value natin dito sa element ng row 2 column 2 is equal to 0. So, punta naman tayo sa element ng row 2 column 2. So, yung row 1 natin is 2 times negative 2, that is negative 4, plus yung element natin sa row 2 which is 1. So, negative 4 plus 1, that is negative 3. Yung susunod naman, yung element natin dito sa row 3 column 3. So, i-multiply natin yung row 1 natin, yung value ng row 1 natin dito is 3, multiplied by negative 2, that is negative 6. So, negative 6 plus row 2 na 4, yung row 2 natin dito sa row 2 column 3 is 4. So, i-add natin yung 4. So, plus 4, yung magiging value natin dito is negative 2. And yung fourth element natin sa row 2, yung 3. So, yung row 1 natin dito is 4. So, 4 times negative 2 plus row 2. So, 4 times negative 2, that is negative 8, plus 3, ang value natin dito is negative 5. So, negative 5. So, yan na yung row 2 natin. So, punta tayo sa row 3. So, sa row 3, ang gagawin natin, yung row 1 natin, i-multiply natin ng negative 3 plus row 3. So, yung first element natin sa row 3, that is row 1. Yung row 1 natin is 1 times negative 3, that is negative 3 plus 3, that is 0. So, punta tayo dito sa next. We have yung row 1 natin is 2. So, 2 times negative 3, that is negative 6, plus yung value natin sa row 3 which is 4. So, 2 times negative 3 plus yung row 3 natin which is 4, that is equal to negative 2. So, yung third element natin dito, we have row 1 which is 3 times negative 3, that is negative 9 plus 2, that is negative 7. So, yung susunod, yung row 1 natin, 4 times negative 3, that is negative 12, plus row 3, that is 1. So, yung value natin dito is negative 11. And yung sa element natin sa row 4, ito yung gagawin natin. So, yung row 1, multiply daw natin ng negative 4 plus row 4. So, yung row 1, 0. Next, we have 2 times negative 4 plus 3, that is equal to negative 5. Next, yung row 1 natin, 3 times negative 4 plus row 4 natin na 1, that is negative 11. And last element natin, that is row 1, that is 4 times negative 4, that is negative 16 plus 2, that is negative 14. So, nagawa na natin na gawing 0 yung first columns, yung baba ng first row natin sa first column, nagawa na natin ng 0. So, yung next, ilabas natin yung coefficient natin na 1. So, ito yung magiging coefficient na natin kasi this is a 4 by 4 matrix. So, gawin natin ito 1, yung magiging coefficient natin para maging 3 by 3 matrix na lang yung ating matrix. So, since this is 0, so 1 multiplied by the matrix, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 5, negative 2, negative 7, negative 11, negative 5, negative 11, and negative 14. So, yan na yung magiging matrix natin. So, pag kinuha natin coefficient, kasi yung 1, i-eliminate natin yung row 1 and column 1, yung matitirang matrix, yun yung i-multiply natin sa ating coefficient. So, next, ang gagawin na nating next is that uulitin natin yung process natin dito. This time, ito naman yung gagawin nating 0. So, uulitin lang natin yung process natin dito sa 4 by 4 natin dito sa 3 by 3. This time, ito yung gagawin nating 0. And then, of course, gagawin nating 1 or negative 1 itong 3 natin dito. So, unahin muna natin gawing negative 1 or 1 itong value natin dito sa uppermost, yung negative 3. So, to make that 1 or negative 1, so, gawa ulit tayo ng equation. So, to make this value 1 or negative 1, yung equation natin dyan is yung sa row 1. So, yung row 1, mali. Yung row 2 natin, para gawin nating negative 1 is ano. So, yung row 2 natin, i-multiply natin ng negative 1 plus yung row 1 natin. So, depende sa diskarte nyo yan kung paano nyo gawing 1 or negative 1 itong uppermost na negative 3. So, dito, ang gagawin natin dito, yung row 2 natin, this is negative 2, i-multiply natin ng negative 1 plus row 1 para maging yung value natin dito is negative 1. So, yan lang yun. Dito sa row 1 pa lang yan. Sa row 1 yan. Sa row 1. So, yung value natin dyan is equal to, so, ito, apply natin sa row 1. So, yung row 2 and row 3 parehas pa rin. Yung row 1 lang yung pang-a-applyan natin. So, we have row 2, negative 2 times negative 1 plus row 1, negative 3. Ang matitira dyan is negative 1. And then next, we have row 2 daw. Negative 7 times negative 1, that is 7, plus row 1, that is negative 2. Ang matitira dyan is 5. And then lastly, ito, yung negative 11, yung row 2 daw times negative 1, that is 11, plus yung row 1, which is negative 5. Ang value natin dito is 6. So, yung row 2 and row 3 parehas lang siya. Kasi ang ginawa natin, inisa muna natin na ginawang 1 yung uppermost. Negative 1 yung uppermost natin. So 5, negative 11, and negative 14. So yan yung uh, next value natin dito if we apply this formula. Then next, we have to make this negative 2 and negative 5 0. So gawin nating 0 ulit ito. So ang mangyayari dyan, yung row 2, ang equation natin na gagamitin is yung row 1 times negative 2 plus yung row 2. So, depende sa diskarte nyo yan kung ano yung imumultiply nyo. Ang importante ito maging 0, yung negative 2 and negative 1, 0. So, ito yung i-apply natin sa row 3. And then sa row 4, yung i-apply natin sa row 4, that is row 1 times negative 5 plus row 3 para maging 0 itong dalawa. So, applying this formula, yung value natin is magiging, so parehas pa rin yung row 1 natin kasi wala tayong equations para sa row 1 kasi row 2 and row 3 lang yung kukunin nating 0 dapat yung column nila, yung first column. So, that is negative 1, 5, and 6. So, ang mangyayari dito, magiging 0, 0 na ito. So, that is row 1, 5 times negative 2, that is negative 10 plus 2, that is negative 7. Ang value natin dito is negative 17. And yung next, row 1, that is 6 times 2, negative 12 plus row 2, negative 11. Ang value nito natin dito is negative 23. And lastly, yung third column. So, that is row 1, that is 5 times negative 5, negative 25 plus row 3. So, negative 25 minus 11 is negative 36. And then, last, we have yung row 1 natin dito is 6 times negative 5, that is negative 30, plus row 3, that is 14. So, negative 44. So, yan. So, nagawa na nating 0, 0 yung elements below doon sa ating uppermost. So, we can now solve for the determinant of A. So, using this. So, ang magiging determinant of A na natin dito, so that is 0, 0, that is negative 1. I-multiply lang natin siya ng negative 1. So, yung magiging value natin dito, negative 1 times this is the 2 by 2, the product of the downward diagonal minus the product of the upward diagonal. So, meron tayo dito. So, that is negative 1. Ilabas natin yung negative 1 na coefficient natin. Ito yung matitirang element natin. So, that is negative 17 times negative 44. Ilan yan? Times negative 44 minus the product of this negative 36 times negative 23. So, yung value natin dito is yung determinant of A natin is equal to, that is 80. So, kindly solve if my calculation is correct. So, ang determinant of A natin is equal to 80. So, yan yung property, yung last property natin. So, if you evaluate this given matrix using yung number 1, yung property 1 natin, dapat ang makukuha nyo pa rin is 80. So, yan yung mga properties ng ating determinants. So, if you have any queries or questions, you can message or chat in our Google Classroom or in our group chat in the Messenger. So that's it for the determinants.